Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. To the united force of the three races, there was a sudden twist of events on the battlefield. Indeed, it was disastrous for them. The humans' counterattack consisted of a series of repeated attacks, putting their force at an advantageous position. The united forces of the three races were about to suffer a crushing defeat. Ancient God I appeared suddenly to suppress the most powerful troop within the united force of the three races, the combined troop of 80 universe masters. The combined attack by over 50 godly bodies, all of whom had powers at a universe master level, was enough to send the entire force on Father God's side flying back. They were driven to immediate retreat, without being able to render help to the two demon ancestors at all. Golden horned beast body suddenly appeared. Shortly after, it joined Luo Feng's original body, Peng Gong, and more than 50 godly bodies. The resulting attack sent Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor flying into the distance right away. At the most critical moment, Star Tower finally appeared. It was executing its ability to swallow and suppress. Originally, the 16 Universe Masters, who, in fact, had a total of 18 godly bodies, had been hiding within the vessel. With their powers combined, they could resist the suction force of Star Tower. However, at the deepest area of the black hole of the deep abyss within Star Tower, there was still a drop of godly blood. For this war, the most important troop within the united force of the three races was the one consisting of 80 Universe Masters in Empress Palace. To prevent accidents from happening, almost all of those with the willpower of top-tier Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters were included in this troop of 80 Universe Masters. This was the reason why, out of the 16 Universe Masters within the vessel that Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor were protecting, only one had the willpower at the ultimate limit of a Universe Master. The rest were not up to this standard. So, in the face of an impact by that godly blood, as many as half the members of their troop were knocked unconscious on the spot. 3 went weak at the knees. Only one managed to resist the impact of that willpower and continued to stay awake. But only one managed to unleash an outburst of his normal combat power. How was he able to resist the suction of Star Tower at the same time? Even if this vessel, which belonged to Shock Demon Ancestor, was manipulated by him from afar, there was no way he could put up a resistance concurrently. After all, even if Shock Demon Ancestor had control over one palace supreme true treasure, when pitted against Luo Feng's Star Tower, it would, at most, be equivalent to Star Tower. He was merely able to control this pinnacle true treasure palace, so there was naturally no way he could put up any resistance. No. No, Demon Ancestor. The cabin doors opened and 2 figures flew out. They wanted to escape, yet they felt like a small wooden boat that had fallen into a vast ocean whirlpool. No matter how they struggled, they could not resist the gravitational force at all. Everything was sucked into the Star Tower, including the vessel that was a pinnacle true treasure palace, and the 2 Universe Masters who had flown out. Silence returned. Far away, in the void space of the dark universe, there were numerous Universe Supreme Masters either in their original bodies or their avatars. There were also Universe Masters deployed by various groups, some of whom were acquaintances, who were familiar with one another, and were chatting or exchanging their views when they met up. However, the moment they saw that the tables were turned and the situation was worsening, they were completely shocked. The situation had been reversed. And it was a major reversal. The united force of the three races was banished to the bottomless deep abyss. They had lost. A crushing defeat. They actually lost. Out of the numerous Universe Supreme Masters who were scattered all over, Sitting Mountain Guest, who sat cross-legged on the Cyan Mountain peak, registered a shocked expression on his face as he sighed and lamented, "How surprising. So surprising. Lost. The united force of the three races actually lost." The purple-robed figure also lamented with a sigh. The situation is going to become troublesome. The united force of the three races has suffered a great loss this time. They have lost too many Universe Masters. Indeed, this is a disaster. And the human force owns a true treasure possessing impactful willpower. This will deprive the group of universe masters of the united force of any possible grounds of unleashing their power. Without the help of that group of universe masters, the 4 universe supreme masters alone will definitely not be enough to fight the entire human force. The old beast god shook his head with a sigh. Hopeless. The united force of the 3 races has been defeated. It is impossible for them to even try to struggle. What a devastating defeat. The huge, winding black monster let out a piercing voice. Many have died. Ha ha. Shockhorn and Dream Tea, that pair of bastards. The demons should have known that working with them would eventually lead to their downfall. A ball of flame let out a voice. Lost. They have lost to the impactful willpower of that true treasure within the human force. Right, that true treasure with its impactful willpower. That true treasure was the reason the situation was reversed. The troop consisted of universe masters with the strongest powers, and yet, they were all rendered useless by that true treasure. The numerous universe supreme masters were all sighing. Just what kind of a true treasure is that? We are too far away, and the power within the battlefield is under too much fluctuation. There is no way we can get a clear view. And the impact of willpower is intangible. There is no way to judge what kind of true treasure is causing it. But, judging from the reaction of the group of universe masters of the united force of the 3 races, they must have met with the impact of that willpower. Hasn't anyone noticed Star Tower? Star Tower. Of course, I see it. It's just that I had not expected it to be in the hands of the human race. And it seems like Luo Feng is the one controlling it. Oh, Star Tower. Previously, we all have tried our best, but no one was able to control it. Who would have expected that it would fall into Luo Feng's hands? The numerous universe supreme masters started lamenting and shaking their heads amidst sighs. The power of Star Tower was undoubtedly extremely strong. The only problem was, in the past, no one was able to get it to recognize them as its master. Such a supreme true treasure. A palace type, indeed. Such palace-type true treasures were extremely rare, to start with. In the entire primal universe, with all the universe supreme masters put together, those who owned a palace supreme true treasure might add up to only 2. Yet, in this war, the humans first presented Black Prison Tower, which had originally belonged to East Emperor Holy Land. Then, they revealed that they had Star Tower, a true treasure that had previously recognized no master. The human force is so powerful. They have such a big group of universe masters. And they have a rod-type attack supreme true treasure, and 2 palace supreme true treasures. Especially that Luo Feng. That Luo Feng in his original human body, together with his golden horned beast body. Both with combat power at 6th tier, as the top level. I have long heard of him having a beast body, and he also has that Mosha body that previously made an appearance. Come to think of it, it may be because he seized his golden horned beast body from his winnings. Thus, he was able to subsequently divide himself into 3 different bodies. Both the original body and the other body are able to unleash an outburst of combat power at the 6th tier level. True, that Luo Feng's human original body and that other golden horned beast body are both capable of unleashing combat powers at the 6th tier, as the top level. Could it be that his blade and that pair of wings are both supreme true treasures, too? This is too many treasures. This Luo Feng has actually received the inheritance of the pulse of Duan Dong River. He has met with such a great opportunity that you can never envy enough. It might not necessarily be a supreme true treasure. He has previously broken through the basic inheritance of the blade and seized the inheritance of the pulse of Duan Dong River. Based on the information I know, previously, when he broke through the basic inheritance, he was already able to create a secret technique at the level of a universe supreme master. Judging by his blade technique, I supposed his blade technique is also already at the level of a universe supreme master. For ordinary universe masters to show power at the 6th tier, they would need to rely on their godly power. A godly power of 10,000 times of life genes would activate the secret engravings on their supreme true treasures, which would allow them to execute the secret technique at the level of a universe supreme master. And Luo Feng. Even without the help of a supreme true treasure, he could already execute a secret technique at the level of a universe supreme master, which was his own creation. If he really was a universe master with 10,000 times life genes, even without a supreme true treasure, so long as he executed Nirvana Renaissance, he could still achieve an outburst of combat power at the level of the 6th tier as the top. His only disadvantage was that his godly power was a notch weaker. Theoretically, his ability was only at a 5th tier top level. Relying on Blood Ghost Blade, he managed to make it to the 6th tier as the top level. Relying on the white pair of wings, he barely made it to the 6th tier, so he needed to execute Extermination to achieve an outburst of power at a 6th tier as the top level. Old Beast God. That Luo Feng has a golden horned beast body. Why aren't you showing any reaction to it? Since this golden horned beast that he won could allow him to cultivate another body, it also means that this golden horned beast has yet to become undying. My Space Beast Alliance, those space beasts who are weaker are destined to live their lives wandering about the universe. Be it life or death, their fate lies within their control. The old beast god said this in a leisure tone. I'm leaving. This war is over. Let's go. I had initially pinned my hopes on the united force of the three races to save us some effort. It seems like they are still not up to it. Now, it's time for me to start preparing well. The numerous universe supreme masters went still for a moment. Shortly after, they all left the dark universe. Those universe masters, who were secretly observing the situation from afar, also started to leave one by one. After Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor were blown off in the air, they were fast in returning without delay, but they were still too late. Humans. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor yelled and roared. They were extremely angry. They all deserved to die. Father God of the automaton race was also extremely angry. Loathsome, detestable humans. Revolting. Empress appeared outside her palace that in the distance. Her face also registered rage. The four universe supreme masters of the three races were indeed at the apex of their anger. Hovering in a horizontal manner, amidst the void space, by the cabin doors of the boat of Mausoleum, was none other than ancient God Eye. It was still sweeping the surroundings repeatedly, as it consistently maintained a sharp eye that was directed at Empress Palace. The moment that group of 62 universe masters dared to step foot out of Empress Palace, they would be in danger of being swept under the impact of the willpower of this ancient God Eye. Ha ha ha, Luo Feng laughed heartily. In midair, the huge, lofty star tower rapidly shrunk, and directly landed on the golden horned beast's back. Golden horned beast carried star tower on its back. Beside it was Luo Feng with his silver wings widespread. Further down the Rao was Peng Gong Master, who was holding on to Yang Jun Rod, and from afar, Black Prison Tower was making its way over. Behind them all was the massive boat of Mausoleum, whose length spanned a distance of 10 billion kilometers. Do you all still want to go on with another round of battle? Luo Feng shouted. Demons, Bug Clan, Automaton Race. Peng Gong Master also shouted out. If you three races still want to go on for another round, we are most willing to oblige. The united forces of the three races were so angry that they were on the verge of going crazy. But looking at Black Prison Tower, then looking over to Star Tower being carried on the back of that golden horned beast, these were two palace-type true treasures they were talking about. Besides, those who had some prior bits of information could easily deduce that that golden horned beast body was likely Luo Feng's other body. Luo Feng's original body and other bodies were all equipped with combat power at a 6th tier as the top level. This was the same as Peng Gong's combat power. In terms of the 6th tier as the top level combat power, the human race fared pretty well. Besides, it also had a large troop of universe masters. And a treasure with impactful willpower that could suppress the power of the opposing united force of three races, so that they could not unleash their full potential. And the human race also had two palace-type supreme true treasures. Humans, you won only because you had supreme true treasures. Shock Demon Ancestor bellowed. That's about it. He was, certainly, at the apex of his rage. Ha ha ha. What a great joke. Luo Feng held out his left hand and Star Tower, which was beside him, flew right to the middle of his palm where it remained suspended in the air. Luo Feng laughed with gaiety as he said, being able to seize supreme true treasures is also an ability. Just like the inheritance of the pulse of Duan Dong River, within the entire universe ocean, who would not have heard about it? Everyone obviously came for it, but I, Luo Feng, was the one who won it. This is what we call an ability. Don't be such a bad sport. If not for Father God of the automaton race, who hid himself in that black sphere and refused to come out. It must have been afraid that the group of universe masters under its protection would be sucked over by us humans once and for all. The human team had come up with many plans before the war regarding how powerful the humans were, relative to the United Forces Alliance. When they were fighting, the human team immediately realized how powerful the United Forces Alliance was, and the human team was at a disadvantage. The human race tried to keep showing their weakness, so that the real body of Father God would come out. However, Universe Masters led by Darkness Master couldn't resist the attacks for long. If they kept displaying their weaknesses, they might be crushed. That was why Luo Feng decided to counterattack. That's their plan. The United Forces Alliance was terrified. Father God was also scared. They had been at an absolute advantage at first. He did, indeed, want to emerge and fight the human team in close quarters, as that way, he could wield more power. As for Luo Feng, he was afraid that the universe masters of his own team wouldn't be able to resist the attacks much longer, which was why they had enacted the backup plan so soon. Humph! Why are you so smug? Father God shouted. You just got the strange valuable by luck. Without that strange valuable, you would definitely have lost. Luo Feng held Star Tower, standing in the space of the dark universe and shaking his head. Peng Gong Master shouted, how big of a loser are you to search for excuses for losing the war? You don't have the demeanor of a universe supreme master, Father God. I despise you. The two teams stood in the area, yet neither team was willing to back down from the dispute. However, neither of them was fighting. The human race realized that only universe supreme masters were outside the palaces, so they couldn't kill them. As for the United Forces Alliance, they knew that they would be totally crushed if they kept fighting. Shock Demon Ancestor, Dream Demon Ancestor, Father God, and Bug Empress, shouted Luo Feng. He glanced at the three powers in the distance. Some universe masters of your races are kept in my Star Tower. Do you want them back? Of course we do, said the Black Oval. Both the Silver Snake and the Sawtooth-shelled strange beast looked at Luo Feng, and so did Bug Empress. The voice of Bug Empress sounded seductive, despite the fact that she did not intend it to. She had been born that way. Name your price, she said. It's simple, Luo Feng said. For the next era, the Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters can't enter the human territory. If you can do that, I'll give you back all the Universe Masters detained, as well as their true treasures. This is the only requirement, said Peng Gong Master. Do you agree? Luo Feng gazed at the Supreme Masters from the Three-Race Alliance. He was well aware that winning the fight against the United Forces Alliance greatly improved the humans' circumstances. However, if those neutral powers and lone universe Supreme Masters attacked them, it would be a nightmare for the humans. If they could keep the United Forces Alliance out of the war by holding some universe masters hostage, their situation would be much more advantageous. The four Supreme Masters transmitted their voices to converse with each other. We've already risked everything for this war, said Father God. After this fight, I now realize we alone will not be enough. Those powers who wanted us and the human team to suffer great losses will definitely pick a side in the future. We should wait until those powers act. After that, we'll join again. With our combined powers, it'll be easy to get some inheritances. That's right. We've come so far, so there's no way for us to back down, said Dream Demon Ancestor. Those who have the best chance to become Universe Supreme Masters are all living in the miniature universes, said Shock Demon Ancestor. Even though there will be a loss of Universe Masters, most of them are of other races. I agree, said Bug Empress. They reached a consensus immediately. Compared to the inheritance, the losses they would suffer were bearable. After all, they had come prepared for losses. Golden Horned Beast, Luo Feng, and Peng Gong Master stood side by side in space, waiting for a response. Do you really expect us to compromise, after you have killed so many great beings of ours? Said Father God angrily. We'll let you win this time, but you'll regret it soon enough. It seems they've rejected the deal. Luo Feng strolled along with Star Tower in his hand. You're sending these universe masters to their death. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor, I told you last time that you would suffer greater losses. Next time, you won't be able to negotiate. Negotiate? Next time, you humans will be annihilated. Go. Go. The United Forces Alliance disappeared from the Dark Universe without saying more. Darkness Master stepped out of Black Prison Tower. Peng Gong Master clenched his teeth. Those bastards. The United Forces Alliance will return again. Darkness Master also looked anxious. Besides, many more will come next time. The United Forces Alliance is not giving up. Of course, they won't give up, said Luo Feng coldly. The opportunity to transcend incarnations is invaluable. Besides, most of the universe masters we captured are from other races. Even though they'll be upset by the losses, it's acceptable to them. For what it's worth, we've won big time, said Darkness Master. Let's go back first. Okay. Okay. Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, and Golden Horned Beast flew back to Boat of Mausoleum, and Darkness Master flew back to Black Prison Tower. Boat of Mausoleum and Black Prison Tower left the Dark Universe, and went back to the original universe, rushing to the Primal Secret region. Inside Star Tower, the 16 Universe Masters from the United Forces Alliance were separated. 2 were from Demon race, 1 was from the Automaton race, and 1 was from the Bug race. As for the others, they were all from other races. Only 20 Universe Masters were actually from the 3 races of the United Forces Alliance, while a total of 112 Universe Masters had participated. The others were all from the subsidiary races and other races. Only a small portion of them were actually from the 3 races. As for the 16 Universe Masters detained, 4 were from the 3 races, so the percentage was already relatively high. Those 4 were detained in a sealed space, while the other 12 were detained together in a different area. A voice was transmitted into Star Tower. Do you really expect us to compromise, after you have killed so many great beings of ours? It seems they've rejected the deal. The negotiation was transmitted in. Damn it. Bastards. Those goddamn bastards. They are willing to let us die just for their own ambitions. The 4 great beings from the 3 races were calm, yet the other 12 Universe Masters of other races cried with outrage. They were all from weak races. Some of them were actually the only Universe Master in their races. What would happen to their races if they died? Although the United Forces Alliance had made a promise to them as to what they would do if the Universe Masters died, it was very easy for a race to be bullied if it had no Universe Masters. Even if the Demon race, the Automaton race, and the Bug race could help them, the 3 races couldn't do anything once other pinnacle races, like the Prison race, decided to annihilate them. The most they could do was save some lives to allow the race to continue breeding. The 12 Universe Masters of other races swore in anger. As for the other 4, they were angry, but they had to obey the Universe Supreme Masters. Only 3 of the Universe Masters had multiple bodies, but they were not ready to self-destruct yet, as they were still waiting for a chance to get out. After all, they didn't want to give up their bodies and true treasures so easily. It was pure rapture in the main palace of Primal Chaos City. Primal Chaos City leader stood on the stage of the main palace, and looked down at the Universe Masters, excited. Universe Masters, congratulations. Thank you for all your contributions. Thank you all. The 3-race alliance was indeed formidable, but they were still defeated. To the glory of the humans, the glory of the Hong Alliance, and the glory of every one of you. Let's drink up. Everyone was cheerful. Those universe masters, who had been anxious before, were all exhilarated. Even Primal Chaos City Leader was elated. As for Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Pengong Master, they temporarily forgot about the United Forces Alliance's unwillingness to compromise and celebrated the victory. Soon, the Universe Masters started to talk with each other, and Luo Feng was the one who received the most attention. After a long while, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader walked out of the main palace. They didn't agree, asked Primal Chaos City Leader. Luo Feng shook his head. It not unexpected. Those four old fellows have great ambitions. However, we need to enact another plan. Okay. Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. It may be less ideal than their compromise, but it can still empower us. Another plan was to drive a wedge between them. Most Universe Masters in the United Forces Alliance were from other races. They didn't hold absolute loyalty to the three races, and they certainly weren't about to die for them. That was why Luo Feng had purposefully allowed the conversation, during the negotiations, to be transmitted into Star Tower. They all have avatars in their own races and avatars in the central region of the United Races Alliance, said Primal Chaos City Leader slowly. They originally came from lesser powers, especially those with only 2 or 3 Universe Masters. You can certainly draw them to our side. Luo Feng nodded. Yes. We can at least draw some of them to our side, so the United Forces Alliance will be weaker, and will be stronger. I'll go to Star Tower now. I'll persuade them to surrender, and try to draw some lesser powers to our side. How about the Universe Masters from the 3 races? Asked Primal Chaos City Leader. I'll kill them, of course. Luo Feng smirked. It's protocol. After all, only when Luo Feng killed a Universe Master would Sitting Mountain Guest made him a true treasure. Rest assured, Milky Way Horde Leader. After this battle, some of the idle races will definitely change their minds, resounded the voice of a Universe Master, who had an upper body reminiscent of a human with tentacles as legs. The unity within the United Forces Alliance isn't strong, and now that the Alliance has lost, some will choose to leave. The Alliance won't stop them from leaving unless they want all the other races to rebel. When our race leaves the Alliance, we'll join the Hong Alliance. Wonderful. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. If you join the Hong Alliance, we'll give you some experience from the ancient civilization on how to train yourselves to become Universe Supreme Masters, no matter how the war ends. However, I can't let you go yet. I need Chu Dark Master from your race to come to use first before we let you go. Luo Feng made a promise. I understand, answered the Universe Master with a lower body like an octopus. Of course, he had to say yes. He was kept in Star Tower, and his life was in the hands of Milky Way Horde Leader. Luo Feng leaned against the railing and looked down at Thousand Treasures River. Although many Universe Masters had agreed to help the humans during his conversations, he realized that it couldn't actually help much with the situation the human race was facing. However, the human race had to get all the help it could. This war was only a rehearsal. The real war hasn't begun yet. Luo Feng felt the pressure, and he looked out into the endless space. The storm was coming, a storm that would sweep across the entire original universe. The Alliance's loss carried strong implications. To the humans, it was both good and bad. The bad side was that the enemies now realized how dangerous and threatening the humans were. However, the good side trumped the bad side. After all, those neutral powers would come to humans. Demon race territory, an ordinary planet blood-tooth star. This had been where an undying fighter from the demon race lived, but now, it was where the 6 powers of the United Forces Alliance talked about business. On the beautiful plain, 6 minds condensed into avatars. They were Dream Demon Ancestor, Shock Demon Ancestor, Bug Empress, Father God, Devil Ancestor, and Holy Master. These 6 Universe Supreme Masters represented 5 superpowers of the original universe. Why isn't the Northern Territory Alliance here yet? Devil Ancestor's tail surrounded all the Supreme Masters, and his red eyes were glaring. Our minds travel faster, said Shock Demon Ancestor. Those from the Northern Territory Alliance need God country transportation and teleportation. We need to wait. After all, that Alliance Master doesn't make the decision, but the Universe Masters do, said Holy Master from Crystal Race. Here they come. They could feel great beings teleporting themselves to this planet. 3 beings arrived. The other 5 forces have already arrived. We're a bit late. The leader of the 3 beings looked like a crystal. He was Star River Master. Star River Master was the most powerful being in the Northern Territory Alliance, and he usually appeared as a dark shadow usually. However, since he was currently meeting the 6 Supreme Masters, he showed his true body. Star River Master, Black Lotus Master, and Liu Lan Star Master, said Father God. This is the first time I have seen you all appear together. Lots of powers are involved already. How can we not show up, said Black Lotus Master, a being with a flower-like head. All 3 Universe Masters were out of the ordinary. The Northern Territory Alliance was a super alliance comprised of many various races, and there were around 100 Universe Masters in the alliance. After all, even an elite alliance like the Hong Alliance had around 40 Universe Masters, so one could imagine how many Universe Masters a giant alliance like the Northern Territory had. As for the Alliance Master, he was just there for mutual help. Star River Master, Black Lotus Master, and Liu Lan Star Master were the truly influential ones. Black Lotus Master represented the 6 plant life forms within Northern Territory Alliance. As for Liu Lan Star Master, he represented the most powerful clan in the Northern Territory Alliance, the Liu Lan clan. Star River Master, although he was a special life form, was good at turning back time to save lives, and he had saved lots of Universe Knights using his power. He was to Northern Territory Alliance what Primal Chaos City Leader was to the human race. He was just and respected by many lesser races, and he represented the alliance of special life forms and lesser races. They represented the 3 major streams in the Northern Territory Alliance, so if they agreed, it meant 95% of the members in the Northern Territory Alliance agreed. This was how a loose alliance operated. The unity wasn't as strong as that within the human race, or the demon race. Now that everyone has arrived, let's begin, said Shock Demon Ancestor. Everyone knows that we lost the previous fight against the humans. Luo Feng gained a lot from Duan Dong River, and we can already see how much it contributes to the human race. That Mind Shock Valuable and Black Prison Tower. The human race didn't have either of those before. That's right. Nobody had a Mind Shock Valuable before. As for black striped stone pillars, they are strange objects that can't be moved. The human race is indeed much more powerful. The human race received a lot from the Duan Dong River inheritance. While they were chatting, Father God suddenly said, "Those don't matter." The other 5 Universe Supreme Masters, and 3 Universe Masters looked at him. Inheritance. The important thing is the experience, said Father God slowly. With the experience, there might be more Universe Supreme Masters born from the human race. The Divine Eye clan had 7, and with that inheritance, there might be more than 10 born from the human race. The Divine Eye clan roamed the original universe during the first universe era, and occupied lots of territories. When the human race flourishes, they will occupy more territories, and there will be more life forms, geniuses, and great beings born. It's a cycle. The power of the human race will keep surging. Imagine the Divine Eye clan being 3 times as strong. 3 times as strong. Everyone went quiet. The 7 Supreme Masters from the Divine Eye clan occupied a large territory in the first universe era. 3 times stronger. 21 Universe Supreme Masters. 3 times the territory. Then all the territories of the 5 pinnacle races combined aren't enough. Devil Master was wicked and angry. No. I can't allow it to happen. There are only a certain number of lives that can be born in the original universe. If the humans become stronger, the other races will get weaker, said Father God. I didn't think the humans were such a great threat before. However, the humans defeated the United Forces Alliance shortly after gaining the inheritance. If we allow them to prosper like that, all the powers in the original universe combined won't be enough to defeat the humans. After that, the human race will be the only superpower in the universe. That's right. They are too powerful. Even Star River Master said, we can't let that happen. The six powers reached a consensus. Their territories were their foundation, and if the humans kept getting stronger, their territories would keep getting weaker. The six powers, said Bug Empress. It's easy for us to form an alliance, as we all occupy the most important and broadest territories in the original universe, but it's different for the other powers. The Ancestral God School, for instance, is an alliance of lots of special life forms, and their only domain is that Ancestral God secret region, so they don't have any conflicts with the humans. As for the Space Beast Alliance, they don't need a large territory, as the small space beasts all go vagabonding through the universe before they become undying. Those lone universe supreme masters don't need territories, either. That's right. Territories are what bring us together. As for the lone universe supreme masters, the Space Beast Alliance, and the Ancestral God School, they don't care about it. They care more about the inheritance regarding incarnation transcendence. If the humans try to persuade them to join them, they might agree. We must align with all the powers we possibly can, even the lone universe supreme masters, the Ancestral God School, and the Space Beast Alliance. I don't think the humans will actually tell them how to transcend incarnations. Besides, the biggest power in the original universe isn't any of the 9 superpowers. It's not the lone universe supreme masters, rather, it's the combination of those idle races distributed throughout the original universe. Some powerful ones have 1 or 2 universe masters, and all of them combined make up hundreds of universe masters. We need to get as many of them on our side as possible. Although Ancient God, I was a real threat, a trump card worked best only when it was not exposed. Now that everyone knew about it, however, they were coming up with methods to minimize its harm. The billions of races are all weak. However, all of them combined represent a very large territory in total. If the humans expand their territory in the future, they'll be annihilated as well. We can draw lots of idle races to our side. The 6 powers kept discussing with each other. They were trying everything to strengthen their power and weaken the humans' power. This video will end here.